There comes a time in life when it's no longer about how fast you can run, but how well you can stand. It's no longer about how many doors you can kick open, but how wisely you can close the wrong ones. Old age is not a weakness, it is a crown, a season where you no longer prove yourself to the world, but preserve yourself for the promises of God. And the question we must ask is this: what should you protect in old age? Peace is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of stillness in your spirit. As you grow older, you begin to realize that peace is not something that comes naturally, it is something you must intentionally protect. When you are young, you spend years trying to prove yourself, fighting battles that were never yours to fight, and chasing approval from people who were never satisfied. But with age comes wisdom, and wisdom whispers to you that not every fight is worth the scars, not every argument is worth the energy, and not every person deserves access to your heart. Peace is the crown jewel of old age, and once you taste it, you will not want to trade it for anything else. Protecting your peace means learning how to say no without guilt. It means refusing to allow people to dump their drama into your spirit. It means knowing when to walk away from conversations that add nothing but heaviness to your soul. There are people who thrive on conflict, who get their energy from stirring chaos, but you must remember you are not their audience, you are not their stage. You have earned the right to walk in peace, and that means refusing to let other people's storms invade your calm. It also means being selective with your time and your space. Every hour you spend is a seed, and in old age your seeds must be planted wisely. Protecting your peace may mean spending more time in quiet reflection, more time in prayer, more time soaking in gratitude instead of words. The older you get, the more you understand that peace is not found in possessions or positions. It is found in presence. It is the calm that comes when you know you have lived, you have loved, and you have trusted God with the rest. Protecting your peace also requires letting go of grudges that no longer serve you, letting go of regrets that cannot be undone, letting go of bitterness that only poisons your soul. Old age is not the time to rehearse your wounds, it is the time to release them, because peace cannot live in a heart cluttered with yesterday's pain. So guard your peace like treasure. Speak peace. Breathe peace. Live in peace. For peace is not just what sustains you in old age, it is what makes the journey worth living. Faith is the anchor of your soul, and in old age, it becomes more precious than ever before. When the body begins to slow down, when friends and family begin to fade from the picture, when the things you once relied on no longer feel as steady, faith steps in as the steady hand that will not let you fall. Faith is not just believing in God when everything is going right, it is trusting Him when life feels uncertain, when prayers are delayed, and when the road ahead looks shorter than the road behind. In your later years, faith carries you where strength cannot. It lifts you when willpower fails, and it comforts you when nothing else can. Protecting your faith means guarding it from doubt, fear, and discouragement. Life has a way of trying to shake what you believe. You may encounter sickness, loss, betrayal, or seasons of loneliness that make you question, where is God in this? But in those moments you must remember that your faith has been your survival all along. It was faith that carried you through valleys in your youth, faith that gave you courage in your middle years, and faith that will now be your anchor in your old age. Do not allow the hardships of life to weaken what was built through decades of trusting God. To protect your faith is also to protect your focus. Not everything in this world deserves your attention. The news will try to drown you in fear, people will try to distract you with negativity, and circumstances will try to cloud your hope. But faith requires vision. It requires you to look beyond what you see and trust in what God has promised. Protecting your faith means choosing to believe even when your eyes cannot see the evidence and your hands cannot yet hold the blessing. Another way you protect your faith is by surrounding yourself with words of life. Read the scriptures, pray without ceasing, and rehearse the promises of God until they are louder than the doubts in your mind. Speak faith over your life, even when you don't feel it. Protect your faith by feeding it, watering it, and refusing to let it die of neglect. In old age, you don't need more things, you need more assurance. Faith is that assurance. Faith is the rope that ties you to God when the storms of life rage. Protect it, because when everything else fades, your faith will be the one thing that carries you into eternity. Wisdom is the crown that life places upon your head after years of walking through storms, victories, mistakes, and lessons learned. In old age, wisdom becomes more valuable than money in the bank or titles on a wall. You may not run as fast as you once did, and you may not have the same strength you carried in your youth, but wisdom gives you a power that no one can take away. It is the ability to see through deception, to discern truth from lies, to understand people without them saying a word, and to make choices that preserve peace instead of destroy it. That kind of wisdom doesn't come overnight. It is earned through tears, through waiting, through surviving what you thought would kill you. Protecting your wisdom means refusing to waste it. There are people who will try to dismiss your experience because they do not understand the value of what you carry. There are others who will try to pull you into arguments where they are not seeking your wisdom, only validation for their own opinion. You must be careful not to throw your pearls before those who cannot see their worth. Protect your wisdom by discerning who deserves access to it. Not everyone qualifies to sit at the table of your counsel. Wisdom must also be protected from pride. Sometimes when people grow older and gain understanding, they use it to elevate themselves above others. But true wisdom is not loud, it is not arrogant, it does not boast. True wisdom builds, it does not tear down. True wisdom guides with compassion, not condemnation. Protecting your wisdom means keeping your heart humble enough to share it with love, instead of using it as a weapon. Another way to protect your wisdom is by passing it on intentionally. Wisdom that dies with you serves no one. The experiences you've lived through, the mistakes you've recovered from, the blessings you've received, all of it is a map for someone else who is coming behind you. Write it down, speak it into your children, pour it into your community. Protect your wisdom by leaving a legacy that outlives your years. And finally, protect your wisdom from bitterness. Sometimes people allow the pain of life to sour their perspective, and instead of wisdom flowing out, cynicism takes its place. Don't let that happen to you. Let your wisdom be sweetened by grace, by mercy, by forgiveness. For wisdom is not just knowing the lesson, it is applying it with love. That is the kind of wisdom worth protecting until your last breath. Health is the vessel that carries your spirit through this world, and in old age it becomes more important than ever to protect it. You can have wealth, wisdom, and even the will to do great things, but if your body breaks down, those blessings become harder to enjoy. Protecting your health is not about vanity, it is about stewardship. This body was given to you as a temple, and how you treat it determines how long and how well you can carry out the purpose placed on your life. When you are younger, you often take health for granted. You push your body beyond its limits, skip rest, ignore pain, and fuel yourself with habits that do more harm than good. But as the years pass, the price of neglect shows up in your strength, your energy, and your ability to move freely. Protecting your health in old age means becoming intentional. It means listening to your body instead of ignoring it. It means choosing nourishment instead of indulgence, movement instead of idleness, and rest instead of constant strain. Every small choice adds up to whether you finish your journey crawling or standing tall. Protecting your health also means protecting your mind. Stress, worry, and fear can do more damage to your body than disease. A troubled mind creates a troubled body. Peace, laughter, and gratitude are not just spiritual practices. They are medicine for your bones. Guard what enters your spirit, because it has a direct effect on how your body feels. Protect your health by protecting your thoughts. Relationships also play a role in your health. Surround yourself with people who bring joy, not those who drain you. Loneliness and bitterness can eat away at health just as much as poor food or lack of exercise. Choose connection, choose love, choose forgiveness, for they heal more than the heart, they heal the body, and do not neglect the power of balance. Protecting your health doesn't mean living in fear of sickness. It means living wisely. A walk in the morning, a meal with more life than chemicals, a night of full rest, a heart filled with gratitude. These are simple things, but they add years to your days and life to your years. You only get one body, and it was designed to carry you to the finish line of your purpose.
Protect it, cherish it, care for it. Because health is not just about how long you live, it is about how well you live while you are here. Joy is not the same as happiness. Happiness depends on what is happening around you, but joy is an inner strength that flows from God, untouched by circumstances. In old age, joy becomes one of the most valuable treasures you can carry. It is what keeps the sparkle in your eyes when your body is slowing down. It is what makes you laugh even when life has tried to give you reasons to cry. It is what gives you the courage to face tomorrow, knowing that your best days are not behind you, but still unfolding in ways you may not expect. Protecting your joy is essential, because without it, the later years of life can become heavy with regret, bitterness, and sorrow. To protect your joy, you must first refuse to live in the shadow of yesterday. Regret will try to whisper that you should have done more, should have been more, should have achieved more. But regret is a thief, and if you let it, it will rob you of today. The truth is you have survived enough, achieved enough, and learned enough to stand exactly where you are now. Protect your joy by letting go of the past and choosing to embrace the present moment with gratitude. Joy also requires you to release bitterness. People may have hurt you, betrayed you, or walked away when you needed them most. If you hold on to those wounds, they will poison your spirit and darken your outlook. But when you forgive, when you release, when you let go, you reclaim your joy. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was right. It means you refuse to let it control your heart any longer. Protecting your joy often means choosing forgiveness, not for them, but for your own freedom. Another way to protect your joy is to surround yourself with things and people that lift you up. Laughter is medicine. Music is healing. Time with loved ones is nourishment for the soul. Joy grows when you cultivate an atmosphere of love, kindness, and hope. Protect your joy by being intentional about what you allow into your space, because whatever enters your spirit will shape your outlook. And finally, joy is strengthened when you keep your eyes on God's goodness. Even in seasons of pain, joy reminds you that the story is not over. Even in loss, joy whispers that there is still something to live for. Protect your joy, because joy is your strength, and strength is what will carry you through to the finish line of life with grace and dignity. When you reach the later chapters of life, you begin to realize that not everything you fought for was worth protecting. Time has a way of teaching you what truly matters. It's not the trophies, not the possessions, not the applause of people that count. What matters are the treasures that money can't buy. Your peace, your faith, your relationships, your wisdom, your health, and your joy. These are the pillars that carry you through old age with dignity and strength. If you lose peace, you lose your rest. If you lose faith, you lose your anchor. If you lose relationships, you lose your support. If you waste your wisdom, you lose your legacy. If you neglect your health, you lose your ability to enjoy the blessings. And if you surrender your joy, you lose the very strength that keeps you standing. That is why protecting these things is not optional. It is essential. The truth is, old age is not the end. It is the crowning season. It is the moment when the lessons of yesterday become the treasures of today. It is the time when you are called not to chase life, but to cherish it. Not to prove yourself, but to preserve what God has entrusted to you. So as you walk into the golden years, walk with intentionality. Guard your peace like a fortress. Nurture your faith like a fire. Hold tight to those who love you. Pass down your wisdom to those who need it. Care for the body that carries you. And above all, keep your joy unshakable. Because when it's all said and done, how you finish is just as important as how you started. And if you protect what truly matters, you will finish not empty, but full of gratitude, full of love, and full of purpose.